Hey guys, welcome to this series of how to send content to your messenger list. And this is the last piece of the puzzle, broadcasting. So let's now go, we are already in Manychat, let's go and create a broadcast to see what are your options and how you can set it all up. So we're going to go to broadcast, I click on broadcast and then you broadcast. And we're just going to write our first sentence here only. So hey, first name, I have, for example, excuse my copy, it doesn't really matter, but just the first sentence here, and I told you already that it's much better just to prepare the first sentence here and then attach the rest in the flow. So we're going to continue to another step. Voila. Click start flow, and we're just going to pick the flow which we pre-prepared before. I'm just going to choose random flow because it doesn't really matter. And this is what your broadcast should look like. And if you made a mistake in here, it's easy to then check it, it's easy then to correct it in the flow. And people who still haven't got your message because of the time zone difference or time differences, they will get the correct message later. So this is our broadcast, and now we're going to do the settings. And here is all the options we have to send our broadcast. Now, first of all, this subscriptional content, you will see it only if you were approved for subscription messaging. Now, I've done several videos on that already. Just check out my Facebook page as well. And if you need any help, let me know in the comments and I will definitely get back to you and help you to receive that approval. It's getting harder and harder, so I can't promise anything, but I definitely can at least direct you and help you out. So if you get the approval, you can then send subscriptional content, i.e. non-promotional content, anytime you want. That non-promotional content should be news, productivity or personal trackers or tracking kind of messages. So just bear that in mind. If you are not approved, you will not see this as your option at all, and you will only see this non-promotional content here. So you would turn that or tick this off. And you are told that you can also only use non-promo content or send non-promotional messages if it fits within the 16 allowed tags. So the tags are here, and when you look at them, they are quite useless when it comes to coaching and online course creating business. But one is very good, and that's confirmed event reminder. So when people registered for your webinars, workshop, challenges, Facebook Lives, etc., you can use this. Easily you can use this, and that tag is perfect for that. I told you also before in that video about sequences and flows that if you don't have this permission for this subscription content, you can use that hack I was talking about in the sequences, where you just set up the sequence and you play with that active and non-active button. So these are non-promotional messages. You can do it either here, or you can do it through a sequence. Now let's go to promotional content. If you fall within the 24-hour rule, you can click in here. If you are out of the 24-hour rule, you click here. Now, if you run out of possibilities on how to send a message, if you don't have the permission, if it's not within the 16 allowed text, if you are out of the 24-hour window and you already used the follow-up message, the +1 message, you have to think out of the box, because if you don't, you will have to send the sponsored message to re-engage your audience. Otherwise, you can't send messages to them again. So you either send the sponsored message, which means that you're going to, I'll talk about it in a second. So which means basically you pay for re-engaging your audience, or you have to think a little bit outside the box and somehow get back on track and get your audience start talking to you again. How you do that? Well, first of all, you should always have messenger list and an email list for all your subscribers, if possible. So when you run out of options how to re-engage your audience, you can always send an email with a ref URL, for example, where you provide some tip or some lead magnet that people want, and when they start getting that lead magnet, they will become again active on your Facebook, in your messenger, and you can continue sending them messages that way. So the ref URL is perfect. You can also, or you can do your Facebook Live and send, like when people comment, you can also re-engage them like that. So just think of different ways how you can basically get people back to your bot and engaging with you. Now, if you, however, prefer to do the sponsored messages, or if you just run out of ideas on how to do it a different way, or if you run out of ways how to do it a different way, you have to use sponsored messages. And you have either option to go to the Manychat ads, but actually there is absolutely no advantage. And also, if you do that through Manychat ads, then you would be sending these sponsored messages to every single person on your list, even those who unsubscribed, which is kind of what you don't want to do, because you're going to like make people angry, really piss them off. So it's much better if you go to your Facebook Ads Manager, do it through there, and what you do is basically you use this audience here, and whether you use just part of it through tags or the full audience, you upload it to your custom audience, and then you send the sponsored messages that way. So definitely don't do it through here, do it through your Facebook Ads Manager. And I'm actually going to make a new video on that next week, so check it out. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit that bell button, and you're going to get notified when new videos are coming up, so you know more. So these are the types of messages you can use as a broadcast. Once you decide on which kind of broadcast it is, then we're going to do a little bit of targeting. So you can target people through a condition here, tag, opted in through sequence, last interaction of last 24 hours, for example. If it's a promotional, last seen, subscribed. You can even look up people through like a location, etc. So the tag is probably going to be, and the tag could be is or isn't. So you can exclude people or include people with different tags. You can start sending it now, or you can send it later. You can here then set up the day and time and month. Now, this is, a lot of people keep asking, okay, so when I'm in Europe, and when I work for my clients and I do their webinar, for example, their launch, I put Messenger in their launch funnel, I have to really think about what time I want to send, because this time is my time. So I am here in the center of Europe, and I want to send people, for example, at 24 hours before the live webinar happening in the US East Coast. So I really need to think quite a lot about what kind of date and time I'm going to actually put here, so people will get it 24 hours before the webinar happening in the East Coast in the US. So just always make sure that, just realize that this is the time where you are. So you might be traveling, you can be in Thailand or working from Bali. So just, this is the time where you are physically placed. So you just have to make sure that it makes sense for the people you are actually sending it to. You can also do time zone settings. So you can send it all at the same time, which is not maybe such a great idea, but it really depends on the kind of message you're sending. You can do a time travel. So if, for example, you want people getting your message exactly at 2 o'clock in the afternoon of their time zone for some reason, then you would choose the time travel. So everybody would be getting the message at 2 o'clock of their time zone. And if it's just a message with your tips or etc., and you don't want to really annoy people, then you would go for setting it between 9 a.m. for example to 8 p.m. So you would use this last option. So when you do webinar notifications, then you have to really send it according to the time when the webinar is happening. So no time zone, no limit sending time. Time zone, you would be sending only, the second option, you would be sending only if for some reason you want, for example, that everyone meditates at 2 o'clock in this during the day, and you want everybody to do the action at 2 o'clock, then you would use the time travel. And the limit sending time you would do if you're just sending normal content and you just want to make sure that people don't get annoyed when they get it at 4 o'clock in the morning. You can also choose if you want one regular notification. Sorry, no, the first one is regular push. Regular push is that it's going to ding every time they get a message. So if you have several messages in your broadcast, then they're going to get a lot of dings. So I wouldn't do that. I would always go for one regular push, or one regular notification. So that's it. Once you put all this together, you are ready to go. So you can then send your message to your subscribers. You just hit the send now button and there is no way back. So if you made a mistake, then the only thing you can do really is to go to your flows and change it. If you send a message by mistake, it happened to me several times. I just sent, I don't know, sometimes when I sent a total nonsense, then I sent an apologetic message later saying, sorry, that was just a mistake. If it's just something which made kind of sense, I just let it go. And if people were questioning it, I replied to them specifically. So just make sure that when you're ready to send it, that you really are ready to send it, yeah? Okie doke, so this is how you send broadcasts. If you have any questions, let me know. If you like it, if you find this helpful, subscribe to my channel, hit that bell so you know when I release my new videos. And it was really nice talking to you. So see you, and don't forget, subscribe, hit the bell, and leave any comments or questions if you have them. See ya!